My name is Sserwanjja. I am an investigative journalist with NBS Television. I am also the executive director of the African Institute for Investigative Journalism, which essentially is creating a home for investigative journalism to grow in this country. I am also a father and a husband. Oh, by the way, I have 4 children. So yeah, proud daddy. So I'm super excited that I'm here to share my story. First of all, I need to state that journalism is a passion. It's not even about the money. I think if you're to do it for the money, then you're in a wrong career. But it's just a passion that drives you to, work more than 8 hours. Many people in the professions work from 8 to 5 or 9 to 6. Sometimes in journalism, we work until, especially broadcast journalism, sometimes we work until 10 o'clock. Sometimes they call you in the middle of the night to come and break stories or go to the field. So I think that you can't put passion besides. I think that journalism is about passion. It's about the willingness to go out there and, be part of people's stories, listen to them, amplify their voices, tell those stories that may never have been told if you did not go there to sit with people, to listen to them. The world needs people who will listen to them. I think that the world is hurting, and sometimes just listening to them is enough, and just relaying what they have said to you, to the world to know, is healing enough. And so I think that journalism is being able to put yourself aside and tell someone else's story so that you can change the world. That's about journalism. It's about putting the powerful to account. It's about asking the tough questions that everyone would have loved to ask, but because they never get an opportunity of meeting these people. And the day journalism will lose its ability to question the powerful is the day that it would have lost its meaning. So for me, journalism is a passion. Journalism is my way of contributing to my world, I guess. Yeah. Famous, I don't want to be called famous. Well, I guess celebrated is fair enough. I've done journalism for the last 12 years. I have about 28 awards with my name written on them. Some of them are international, others are national. So I'm happy that, I have been celebrated by the world for my contribution to the journalism industry. So have I managed to stay afloat? I think it comes back to storytelling. You don't do journalism to be famous. You do journalism to change lives. I guess that's what makes me wake up every morning. To listen to a mother who is desperately searching for his 2 boys who didn't come home and for a week, and they tell her that they are at court, because they were abducted or kidnapped. Amplifying that voice, the voice of a woman who has a bullet in her backbone because she was shot during the infamous 18th and 19th of November during that protest. But no, she's looking for help to go for surgery so they can get that bullet out. and to hold people who did it to account is what keeps me here. The day journalism will cease to be about other people, but to journalists themselves, then that will not be journalism anymore. So how have I been able to keep myself up? Is by continuing to listen and to tell people's stories. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about people. Journalism is about people. That's what keeps me going. Setbacks. I've encountered many indeed. I have been arrested. I have been beaten, but not broken. I have been abused. I've been hated and loved in equal measure, I guess. How do I jump past that? I guess every career has its own challenges, and maybe those are the hurdles that we face in journalism, especially investigative journalism, which is my field, which is very risky, by the way. But you see, what sometimes helps me is that I keep to the truth. You know, there's a way the truth protects you. When you keep on the path of the truth, be objective, be independent, be fair, be balanced, give everyone an opportunity, and speak the truth. And just like, you know, the Bible says that the truth will set you free, it actually does in the long term. Because sometimes, you know, politicians may not like you from either camps, whether red, blue, yellow. When you do a story in the yellow camp, everyone in the red camp and the blue camp says, yeah. If you do a story on the red camp, of course the yellow camp will not be happy the other way. But if you do a story on the red camp, then of course the red camp will not be happy on you. So the other blue and yellow camp then say, you know, power you up. So I guess it's about telling the truth. I guess people stand with you because they know your value as a journalist, because they can rely on you, because they will stand up for you. I remember when I was arrested and the entire team and my wife, I think that the world stood up for me. I think that people across the world, not here in Uganda, everyone stood up for me, because they think and they know that I am always fair in the way I report. I am always objective. They always believe in me, and I guess that really protects me a lot. Sometimes even when people want to do bad things on you, or either harm you or something, someone will stand up and say, that guy is fair in his reporting. He's neither playing, he's just independent and fair. So that sometimes saves me a lot. Ask me if I fear sometimes. Especially that I'm doing investigative journalism. Yes, I do, because I keep stepping on people's toes. Maybe it's time for me to stop and mentor the next generation of investigative journalists. So yeah, I'm really excited that, the truth somehow sets me free. I think it was a moment of my lifetime. The BBC Komladumwa Award is the biggest award in the journalism industry on the African continent. It celebrates some of Africa's best investigative journalists and journalists at large. So for me, having been announced the winner of this, it was heartwarming, it was fulfilling, it made me feel like the world celebrated me, that I was celebrated beyond Uganda, beyond East Africa, but the whole world. And I remember going and walking into the BBC newsroom, and I'm thinking, my goodness, this has really been my dream. It has finally come true. I couldn't believe it. But it was interesting, stepping in the shoes of one of Africa's best journalists, and that was Komla Dumwa, who was from Ghana, and being able to tell Africa's story to the world in a different way. That we are not only about war, corruption, and disease, but that Africa was a continent on the rise, that we do some good innovations, that we do some good things. And I guess it was really an opportunity for me, and I really thank the BBC. I left that place a different person in terms of my storytelling, scripting, interviewing. But the most of it was when I anchored the Focus on Africa bulletin from those studios. It was amazing. It was like a dream come true. It was really fascinating, working with a team of best producers, directors, and being able to step onto the international scene with my journalism. And what this means for journalism in the continent is that anyone can rise up to the international scene and represent Africa in storytelling. I think the message to journalists across the world is that you too can make it. If I made it, if Larry Madowo, who is right now on the BBC, telling the American story, Kenyan, can do it, you can do it. But you need to put your head up for the world to see you. And that can only be done through pushing yourself to the limits, not to be, you don't feel pity for yourself, you don't do ordinary things. I think that the world recognizes people who do extraordinary things. And so it's important that in everything that you do, you go an extra mile. The world always rewards an extra mile, an extra hour. It pays off, trust me. So push yourself to the limit. Go beyond your expectations. Like, challenge yourself to go the distance, and only then will the world recognize you. So it was really a very good experience for me at the BBC, and I think it's the story of my life. I love hardworking people. I love people who are result oriented. It's two things. It's either results or reason. I don't like working with people who always reason. You tell them to do this and they say, oh, I didn't do it because of this and this and this and this. Oh, I didn't do it because of this and this and this. I love working with people who will break the wall and bring me the results and later tell me, hey Solo, I broke a wall to get you this. Can you help me and we rebuild it? So for me, if you're going to be on my team, I look out for result-oriented people. I look out for people who understand the vision of whatever we're going to work on or where we're going. I like people who are self-pushed. I don't like people who you need to tell, can you do this, and yet they already know that they have assignments to do. I don't like pushing people, just like I don't like pushing me. I like people who are, what can I say? People who appreciate people in their different forms and ways. I think it's important that for people to understand, especially team leaders, that people are different and don't expect the other person to be like the other person. You just need to take them the way they are and capitalize on their strength and make them better rather than pushing them to be like the other person, right? So if I'm going to be working with a team, I think I look out for that. I don't like people who look down on people. right? Like, you can't do this, why can't you do this? No, I like people who encourage people to perform better. I always like to work with people who believe in others, like, you know, that you like encourage other people to actually get their best rather than putting them down. So if you want to be on my team, you gotta appreciate people, that they're different. You gotta be hardworking. You got to push yourself to the limits. You've got to know the vision, and you've got to be self-driven. What can I say? I think that if there's one thing I can tell people, especially young journalists, if you get an opportunity, I think I got this from Kumladumwa, who said that once you're given an opportunity, perform at 100% every time you're given a chance to do it. So when you get an opportunity to report a story, give it your all. Make it different. If you go to a press conference, do you just rather report what they said in the press conference, or do you want to go and see how that statement that has been given out affects the ordinary person? You know, how different is your story? People always look out for how different people are. The creativity that you put in your story, the scripting, the life, the energy. Journalism is beyond good English. Journalism is everything. It's your body language. Journalism is your passion in your eyes. It's the way you voice. It's the way you script. It's everything. So, you know, be that person that will tell the story with all their hearts and minds and might. Operate at 100%. Because you know what? Someone will notice you. Someone will see you. And someone will look for you. And the world will celebrate you.